Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope everybody is doing fine and South Ho. This is me, Sindhu Sinwar from Greenwich University. As you know, on Fridays we do our literature reviews, but now we have come back with a very good and new initiative that was, suggested from our whole faculty of English. We wanted something different. We wanted people to relate to literature. The whole perspective of bringing literature review was to make people understand that books are very important. Reading is somehow, a very big and nurtured thing for your living. Now we believe that as we have progressed over and with the success of the literature reviews, I wanted people to talk about the movie adaptations, or how the movies that were adapted by the literatures written, how things were different in this, what were the goods, what were the bads, what were the pros, what were the cons. Because usually, if you ask me, I'm always the person who says, I'll rather read the book, I'll rather read the book. But somehow, some movies, some people do such amazing work that it's hard to stop and, just not look at the wonder that they have created through cinema. So hats off to all the people who actually take the courage of taking a literature book and making it go forward, and I would say making it live for longer, because I believe sometimes a book cannot produce such impact the way a movie can. So it's a very good thing, and I'm so happy that now, due to my teachers and everybody, I got this amazing opportunity that, and due to our university, that now we're talking about it. I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Aisha Faiz. Aisha is also, let me just, bring her on. Hi, Aisha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us, Aisha. Aisha Faiz is actually doing her bachelor's from Greenwich University. You can see from her background, she is in love with books. She is a crazy bookaholic person. So I'm so happy that, Aisha is with us. And Aisha, I hope you
Yeah.
can hear me.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can now.
Yeah, so I was asking you that how has your journey with Greenwich University been?
It's been amazing actually. This is my second semester right now, but the first semester when I came in, I felt like at home. It's like a complete homey vibe. Everybody's there to help you, and be it the teachers, we have amazing teachers. I literally can say that I've learned so much over this just past few months that I've joined in, and the faculty is amazing. I feel it really they help you to grow in every manner, not just educational manner, but physically, you sort of like, and mentally, cognitive development takes place. So I really, really feel blessed to be a part of Janet, and hopefully it continues further in educational manners as well.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Aisha. I really, really appreciate the students who come forward and they talk about their experiences, because that's how a university grows. And, the people around it actually, the teachers actually feel so special that, finally students are coming and they're expressing their gratitude towards the university. Talking about our main topic, that is, our very, very important movie and literature. So today we have Pride and Prejudice with us. So, Aisha, Pride and Prejudice was an excellent novel. It was like one of the most classics of times, and
Oh yes.
I think there cannot be. I will always say that I can never do justice in one literature review to any of the novels, because it's very hard. Because I feel like it's in a whole
Yeah.
thing together. So you tell me, Aisha, how was the novel? Just the novel. I would start with for you.
Okay, I read it two times. The first time that I did it, I was in seventh, so I got a very like a clean version of the novel, or you could say like a very babyish version of the novel that we got. But then I don't know, I felt very curious about the original classic, and when I read that book, I don't know, but I really feel that I sort of like relate to myself to Elizabeth Bennet a lot. Or as of my mother says constantly that I am sort of like a rebel is what I that her character to me is very strong, unabashed, and very outspoken, yet very family driven and beautiful in its own. For Jane Austen to show such, the power of the woman, and just generally not being like extremely feminism, but feminist point of view, but just generally, a woman to get the voice out there at that era was very difficult. So for me, that was really beautiful. And then Mr. Darcy was like my all-time favorite and my first crush, if I could say. So yes, I love his character too, and I feel he is the pride, and Elizabeth is like the prejudice. So that's how the combination together becomes Pride and Prejudice.
That is so true. If I talk about it myself, and if I take it forward, I would say that there was a huge part in the novel that made me feel like that I can relate to this point. Like, there comes a point where every girl can relate to. And somehow I
Yeah.
believe if a writer is able to make the audience connect to them, to their writing. So I would say, that's the amazing thing. So either some of your friends are really, really happy to see you, and there are actually tons of messages for you coming up. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And it looks like Aisha has a journey that she would be sharing with us someday soon. Aisha,
Hopefully.
talking about the movie now. That time you also told me, in this, I feel like there's an exaggeration. And I was like, Aisha,
Mm.
obviously there's going to be an exaggeration because that's how people are going to relate to it.
Mm.
But then again, yes, from a reader's perspective, I would say things were the way they were elaborated, and
Mm.
the way things were shown in the movie, it somehow made us feel like that okay, this was
Yeah.
not that much. It could have been a little
Yeah.
tamed down. But
Yeah.
why do you think that people have such perspective, and why do directors want to have this approach towards showing the screenplay?
I feel, if you're talking about the elaborated version that they show in movies, I feel it's so because, audience want that. We crave for something which is elaborated, or, a little, an extra stressed up, or, exaggerated version of things. We like it. We want spice in our lives. We are people, like, we crave for these kind of spices. So I feel that's one of the reasons to attract the audiences. There are a lot of people that have not read the book and just want to go to the cinema and watch the movie. So for them to feel connected to every scene that's changing, I feel it's very important to have that bit of an exaggeration, or as we say in our language, masala is very important in life. Just to add a bit of it to just to spice up the story. And I feel that's what this movie, Pride and Prejudice movie conversion was. Like, I really enjoyed the one that came out in 2005. Comparing and watching all the previous ones as well, I really liked it. Me being a typical girl, I really want, a love story to end on a very beautiful ending. So that bit was for me was a little like, I was like, oh, I wish they had gotten married just like they did in the book. That wasn't there. So that was like a little down part for me, but I really enjoyed the movie version as well. I loved the acting of Kiara Knightley. She did a very beautiful job.
Mm,
Portraying Elizabeth Bennet came out very powerful, just the way it should have been, like, just the way the book
that's so
spoke
true.
about
That's
it. Yeah.
underplayed in there,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
And especially जब Darcy का character इतना, to be honest, Darcy and Elizabeth both had very strong characters.
Mm-hmm.
To
Mm-hmm.
show Elizabeth in front of Darcy, because even in the book and even in the movie, when Joe Wright has actually, given justice in terms of both to them, that I would say he knew exactly when to stop the camera and when to start the camera, on her,
Yeah.
onto him. Because when I look at the movie, I can see the perspective that was playing in my mind when I was reading the novel. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe that yes, that's so true, that there are certain things that were very good in the movie, but for me, I would say the part which was I would say exaggerated too much was the fact that the social classes were shown at a complete different
Yeah.
level. थोड़ा
Yeah.
exaggerate ज़्यादा हुआ था, maybe because of the
Yeah.
fact that they wanted people to get more emotional, more attracted towards it.
Yeah.
Or so होता है ना, that when people show that they were so poor, they were so rich, people somehow say, oh no, that's so bad. Because I would say, for a movie, when it comes out, not everyone has read the movie. So for the
Right.
people who haven't read the movie, the novel, so it's very good for them to actually relate to it. that they have the understanding, okay, fine, this
Yeah.
is how the drastics were shown. So talking about the movie and talking about the characters and the director Joe Wright himself, uh, how do you think that there could have been more sync in terms of, I would say, Elizabeth and Darcy's relationship? I believe in the book, it's very powerful. In terms of the
Yeah.
movie, I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm a total against it, because maybe because I'm a reader, that's why, or maybe you can have a different perspective.
Um, Actually, I sort of like have like a similar perspective as of yours, because as you see, I have two versions here kept behind, and I have a lot more. I couldn't find them, otherwise I would have adjusted them here somewhere. But for me, personally, I felt that the book had a very beautiful connection shown and the build of a relationship between them. For somebody to come out that raw and that open in
Mm.
front of somebody that you love, or any relation that you have, be it brother, sister, mother, father, you know we are not that raw in front of as a general person. We're not raw in front of people, and I feel human beings tend to like keep a certain part of them inside a shell. But as of Elizabeth and Darcy, they were out there with each other, be it their aggression, be it their fierceness, this strong stature, or be it their that unleashed love for each other. It was there. For instance, that very last beautiful romantic, my favorite lines, I was supposed to say that, when Darcy says that, I love you, that is so pure. In the end, when they say to each other, and then in return, Elizabeth, rather than saying it out the same way, she goes on saying that, the first time that I saw you, I didn't think that I would ever get, you were the man for me that I would marry. Like, so that, the beauty of that is so beautiful. I don't think a man would directly, accept the fact that, okay, she said that to me, that, she never thought of me as being somebody who she would want to marry. So that was beautiful. Whereas in the movie, I feel that, it's more of a romantic love story that they have created. Obviously, again, because it's a rom-com sort of like a movie, so they wanted that essence in it. But I feel that they could have, had those real beautiful moments between them, carry forwarding the story, and that would have compiled the story very much more beautifully, impacting way larger audience than it already did.
That's so true. I would take your point forward, and I would say that, talking about movies and talking about literature, there's always a very uncertain situation that I'm always kept into, because my idea is that I want to really, see how each character is shown properly. I would say that in the movie, I was a little. I would not say a lot, because there will be a lot of girls who will be crazy for Darcy, just like you. But I would say that the book Darcy cannot be beaten by any movie character. I would say that my idea is completely different. I would say no. I still think that on Darcy, they could have, although his character was extremely powerful, excellent dialogue delivery, excellent, I would say, emotions. Even the last season scene that you talk about, where he says, I love you. And even when he confronts her in that particular garden. So, but I think somehow they have downplayed him. Maybe because हो सकता है कि मेरा fictional character is so strong that somehow it's not coming over there for the movie character. So you tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Though I'm like a big fan of. I really like Matthew and the way he acted it out. But yes, I feel so as well, because when I'm reading a book, for me, a fictional character becomes like, there's a movie playing behind scenes. Like when I'm reading it and I'm switching to pages. For me, it's like a movie playing on its own. So the character that I create in my mind is perfect, and when he or she is portrayed on the screen, I'm constantly like going like, yes, that's right, and no, that's wrong. Like, why? I wish they had a bit more to, that. And I feel, yes, Darcy's character could have been way stronger, and the broody looks that that they talk about in the book, and it comes out so much alive, even with between those words and lines, sentences. I feel that that the impact of the Darcy in the book, and the impact of him on screen was a little less masala there. They could have added much more, and they could have spiced it up a bit more for, I feel like, yeah, crazy girls like me to, like, enjoy it way more. I feel, yes, they could have added, but then again, I think Elizabeth covers it up for me.
True.
I loved Elizabeth. I fell in love with Elizabeth Bennet's character even more. For me, it was such an impactful book, the character, that till date, no matter how many books that I read, there is always that one month or that one week that I just open this book again, and I would just skim through pages and open my favorite pages, and I would just read them again and just boost up my energy to, like, start the
So
day
sweet.
again.
So sweet. Aisha, I see a very good reader in you, first of all. That's such a beautiful representation of a reader as well. To open one of the page and, feel so giddy and excited about it. Yes, I read it. And I totally understand that. I totally understand. Even for me, when I'm down and I see, one of my favorite books or my favorite poem collections, I would just take it. I would read some of it, I'll close it. Yes, the meditation that I needed. So I 100% agree that true. Uh, but for me, I would say Elizabeth's character was 10 on 10. I don't
Yes.
think there was a mistake that Kiara Knightley did. She was outstanding. She was outstanding. She knew
Mm.
exactly when and how to deliver. Maybe because I feel like that somehow she saw the injustice that was going on with women, or maybe she could relate to it so well. She had that, a little feministic approach, or I would say that strong belief that, yes, women are treated this way, and we need to
Yes.
understand that not marriage or not a man can determine a woman's character. Somehow she really really came out way more powerful, and I'm so happy that this movie showed a man's and a women's character both strong, yet again a women having more what should I say, portrayal of emotions, because each of the time, even when she's a sister, even when she's a what should I say, a lover or a friend, she shows it. She, even when she's having this conversation with her friend and they're on the swing, she somehow tells her that how much important her friend is, and how, that friendship level of a woman that she shares with another woman, that how they can build each other. You always say that women can be the best built, what should I say, support for each other. So I think that that was an amazing thing that was shown. A negative character as well, if I talk about what should I say, Lydia Bennett, and I talk about even Darcy's sister. So my idea was that they've shown powerful characters. They've shown characters that actually speak to people. A novel that is timeless is always that one that which people even look at in the movies, they can actually see that how much do you agree with this character, how much do you agree with this I would say, how much do you agree to the negative characters as well?
Yes, I do agree with you on that. Like, Darcy's sister, I feel had a very impactful for me. Like, when I was going through Darcy's sister, watching her on screen, she was so powerful there. Her way of talking to Elizabeth, her way of expressing her, whether she likes or she dislikes Darcy's love for Elizabeth, or whether how Elizabeth treated him. That was so powerful. Even when she asked Elizabeth to go and play the piano. It's like that moment for me was like, actually, like, I was like, okay, oh, she's gonna get up, like, she's gonna that the build of curiosity. That's what I feel the negative characters built curiosity, and if they do that correctly, I feel then it's a very standoff, amazing kind of a reinvention to the movie. It builds back the curiosity again. Even if, like, sort of like halfway through the movie, sometimes there are, you're like, oh, I'm not really interested in it anymore. I think I should get up. You would sit back down and you'd be like, oh no, now this part, like I really want to enjoy. So for me, that was that. Like it got me back to sit and bite my nails and be like, oh, now what's gonna happen? Is she gonna be somebody? You know. So that curiosity built it up for me again. So I really enjoyed the negative characters as well in it. I love the character of Jane. For me,
Oh,
I really enjoyed the character of Jane. I personally loved it more in the book because Jane
that's
and
so true.
Elizabeth, yeah, Jane and Elizabeth
Their
had a really
bond.
beautiful connect. I don't have a sister of my own, so yes, I do have cousins. So yes, the connection with them is also very strong. But I don't have sisters, so for me to read about sisterly bond, even in books, I'm like, oh, I think I missed that portion a bit. But then so but over here, especially, I did. I was like, okay, it's like you have a confidant, you have a guide, you sort of like have a person to go back to. Not everything you can share with your parents or your mom, especially. You can't really just go up bothering her about everything. Listen, I want to do this or that. But with your sister, you can discuss, be it an explosive big bomb thing that has happened in your life, or a mini teeny tiny thing that's happened. You can just go to her, and the bond that they share in the book was so beautiful. But I feel in the movie that for me was a little disappointing because they show Elizabeth to be so ruthless towards family and so argumentative over time, that they sort of like they fall apart. That bond sort of like breaks. But it's nowhere like that in the book. They show it such a beautiful bond that no matter what happens, they stick through with each other. So that was like a little disappointing for me there. A little, like I felt a little. I wish like they could have flourished the bond even further for people to actually believe that no matter what happens, a family is something that sticks together and brings you back up rather than pushing you down. So I feel yes, that could have been a little better. That part for me was like a little like heartbreaking, achy break kind of like a bit for
That's
me.
so true. I
Uh,
would say
yeah.
maybe because sometimes that when they're showing ruthless or when they're showing people out of the box or somebody who speaks out in the family, they somehow over tune it to be somebody who's too rebellious or somebody who's actually outspoken or rude. I would say, and that's not true. It's not true. Somebody who is different in the family or who has a different perspective, they can actually be very sweet. They can actually just have a different perspective, and they'll be just like, I think I don't agree to this point, and I can, let's not talk about it this way. So Hira Sahi, one of the master's students, has actually, commented, and she wants her take on. Did you see the Bollywood version of Pride and Prejudice? What is your take on that? So first of all, Bollywood version of Pride and Prejudice had Aishwarya Roy in it, much I
Yeah.
remember, and it had in that particular version, they did show a good connection of what should I say,
Mm.
Jane and Elizabeth. There was a
Yeah.
good connection of sisters, and especially because it's Bollywood, there's always a song. So there was a song where they all come together, and somehow that develops that sync which was missing in the movie. That obviously there's a representation that can always help people. So Hira, for me, I would say that any representation is good as long as it's done with the progressive approach of giving the audience a good content. Um, and the Bollywood perspective, I would say somehow uh, did still the person. So, what do you say, Aisha? How do you think?
Sorry, your voice
It's
lagged a
okay.
bit.
It's maybe because of the internet. I was saying that for me, I would say that the novel wins all. What about you?
Yes, I feel yes, that's so true.
I hope you're not
Especially
going
when
to
it
buy
comes.
it for the first show.
No, okay, I'll put it like that. That for me, I would say that nothing beats the novel, yes, but the portrayal that was done, like the movie that came out in 2005 that we were just talking about. I feel yes, that was like a very beautiful portrayal of the novel. So yes, it did somewhat justice to a novel comparative to so many different versions that we see, and there are mini series on it as well. So I would say like yes, combined, looking at all of them collectively, yes, this movie did like sort of. I would give it like I would say that it even did the work of the book. Yeah. So like yeah, I would sort of like be like yes. I think for us readers, no matter how good the movie is, we would still be a little biased towards books because holding a book in our hand and going through is like, our movie and our book and we relate to it or we can live in it as well. Like, for me, I feel like I can eat, sleep, drink books. Like, for me, books and a room. And I'm all happy and all set for months to come. So I feel yes, book is beautiful and everlasting. But yes, this movie was also good enough. And if somebody has not seen it, I would recommend that they go, like they have a look at it. Maybe like have a good time and during quarantine.
That's so true. Thank you so much, Aisha, for coming and giving me amazing insights. I really, really appreciate your time and the effort that you have shown us. Uh, this was Aisha Faiz with us, and Aisha was actually just telling us about how, like I said, movie and literature, that's what we're going to talk about. And that's our idea about our literature shows now, that we will be giving both perspectives forward. Either it's the movie, either it's the what should I say, book. It's up to you. I would always recommend that you tell us what movie they want us to review next, and we will be reviewing that movie and we will be discussing that movie and discussing that movie and discussing that book and thank you so much for your time, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is me, Sindhu Sinwar, signing off. Allah Hafiz. Have a good day.